Hi everyone, Alistair from Twinkle here with another daily challenge for home educators, and today we're going to write an acrostic poem or two. Now, we haven't looked at poems before on daily challenges, and the reason I've chosen this one is it's probably the quickest way in to a poem and a pleasing kind of poetic result, but actually such a straightforward framework and technique that while you're working on it, you won't even really feel like you're writing a poem, because it's just more about thinking around a subject or topic. Now, what I want to do while I'm explaining to you what an acrostic poem is actually show you one, otherwise I'll probably just end up confusing you. So here is an acrostic poem I've written about an eagle. Actually, probably needs a title. Let's put that in now and just make it look okay. There we go, maybe a space. So for my poem about the eagle, and this is the way acrostic poems work, you write out the word that is the subject of your poem with one letter on each line down the left hand side of your page, and then all you do is you find a word or a phrase that begins with each of those letters and also describes the subject of your poem. So I've chosen eagle. It could have been dog, could have been lollipop, it could have been mountain, it could have been anything. And once you get the hang of it, and if you get into the fun of these, you can really sort of churn them out. But what I did was I really tried to think about what an eagle is, and how it acts and behaves, and come up with words that describe it. So this is what I've gone for: efficient, agile, gliding, lurking, ever searching. So I went for, actually I'm gonna, so you kind of got the option here of words or phrases or a mix, and I quite like the idea of lurking in the sky, because it's not something that you would normally sort of think of, so I quite like the way that makes us think about the eagle in a slightly different way. So I could have gone for describing it directly, like glider or lurker, but I went for this way of talking about it, and I think that kind of works quite nicely. Efficient, agile, gliding, lurking in the sky, ever searching. And sometimes when you're writing a phrase like this, you can change around the order of the words so that it better fits the letters that you've got to work with. So that is an example of a acrostic poem. Now, what we're going to look at today, more particularly, because there's a big war anniversary coming up, is some acrostic poems around the Second World War, because working on those is a great way to kind of finalise anything you learn about those aspects of the war. So I just want to show you a couple of things that you can find on the Twinkle website that are going to help you do that. So let me just disappear again, and we'll get rid of my eagle poem. So this is what I want to focus your attention on. There are three World War II themed acrostic poems here. When you download them, they look like that. And the great thing about these is that they're already set out, they're decorated, and because they're very specific to this subject, so you've got evacuee, you've got rationing, and you've got Blitz, which was a period of time at the beginning of World War II when London was under attack from the air, or not just London, different cities in Great Britain were under attack from the air. So my suggestion is that you find yourself something where you can do a little bit of pre-learning So this PowerPoint on the Blitz is fantastic, so check that out. And then also we've got this Children in the Second World War PowerPoint, which covers rationing and evacuation. So I don't need to go into any detail about those aspects of this, because you can check that out yourself. So have a good look, learn all about the things that you are going to turn into an acrostic poem, and then just grab your templates and start to fill them in. Okay, so actually this one is quite interesting. You've got a Z in this one, which is going to give you a little bit of a problem, but it's a good problem, and I'm sure you'll come up with a creative solution. One thing you can do in these acrostic poems is use something called onomatopoeia, and that is when you use a word which actually makes the sound it's describing. So an example here would be bang or boom, something like that. And here, you know, you could possibly have zooms or, you know, something similar. Just thinking about words that might work in this, you've got bombs that begin with a B, you've got L, could be London, in the night, you know, there's all sorts of stuff. And you know, my favourite thing about acrostic poems is, even though they're simple, by completing them, you are doing exactly what you need to do to be that sort of bit poetic. And when I say that, what I mean is you are really, really thinking about your word choice. Because there are so few words in the poems you're writing, you're putting all of your thoughts and energy into choosing exactly the word you want. And in my mind, that is what writing poetry is all about. It's just putting all that thought and feeling and expression into just the choice of just a few words. So something about a poem is it just sort of hangs there a bit more heavily, because it's got all that thinking in it. And you know, when you're writing it, just keep rereading it to yourself and just thinking, has this got the feel I want? And because there's so few words in it, experiment with different words. As always, just to finish this video, I do like to kind of suggest how you can take this further. Well, an obvious one with these is you can write lots and lots of them. You can also, you know, use it as an opportunity to find out some new words. You can grab a thesaurus. If you haven't used a thesaurus before, it's a wonderful resource that excuse me, can give you lots of words that mean a similar thing, but perhaps start with different letters. So it can be a wonderful way to broaden your vocabulary. And for me, a fantastic thing about acrostic poems is that you need to know what you're talking about to do a good job of them. So this works whether you're doing animals or Egyptians or whatever. And so you can kind of use these as something that you do at the end of a topic you've been studying to demonstrate, you know, all the different aspects that you've learnt about it, or kind of bring all your thinking together. You can make a poem book of acrostic poems. You can write one about members of your family or family and friends you haven't seen for a long while. Send it to them, phone them, read them out. Lots and lots of places you can go with this. And then if you are having a celebration for V Day, which is upcoming, if you're watching this video at this time, then you can display those or recite them on that day. So I hope you have fun with your acrostic poems. Please do share them if you are able in the Twinkle Home Ed Facebook group. In the meantime, that's it from me. Take care, and I'll see you soon for another daily challenge. Bye bye.